But right now it's time for I guess it's our first annual. Is it annual?
First edition of the in-season trust tree for the bullpen.
Bullpen trust tree. All right. Can we count down? I should have probably. Can we count down from 5, 4? There's 5 tiers, right? So I guess we could start with tier number
5.
Who is in tier number 5 for you?
So tier number 5, you look at where the bullpen sits right now. This is where you're looking at guys that kind of need to either perform better, guys that need to kind of turn around, guys that you're probably not going to see at the end of the season just in case. And that, of course, is Miguel Rojas.
Yeah.
So Miguel Rojas, a 27 ERA. Okay, if Miguel Rojas is pitching, he lets us. Miguel Rojas ain't Shohei Ohtani, right? A position player that can pitch in his. Of course, we're only messing with our guy Miguel Rojas. I'm sure we're gonna ask him our favorite question as far as would you lay down a bunt to break up a perfect game?
I can't wait to. My wife was asking. She's trying to understand what that was about.
Yeah,
I explained it to her, and she goes, "What is Doug talking about? Why wouldn't you just bunt?" And that's what I said.
I'm very curious to see what Miguel Rojas has to say. So, of course, only joking, but Miguel Rojas has pitched.
You think he sucks at pitching?
I think he's a much better pinch hitter. He's a much better shortstop for sure.
Okay, so that is the lowest tier of trust, in large part because he has graciously agreed to pitch sometimes when innings have had to be eaten. But as we get into the real sort of bullpen players, it includes this tier.
Number 4.
Tier 4, familiar but unproven. I'll be curious if these two names for you think have the potential either to move up markedly in the DMAC Dodgers in-season bullpen trust tree rankings.
Not really. I mean, Paul Gervais, of course, he's famous for being the tallest Dodger ever. 6'10", big dude, massive guy. But this is just one of your typical, hey, it's a depth piece at the minor league level. You're not going to see a lot of Paul Gervais unless a lot of things go very wrong. And then, of course, Jonathan Hernandez, who has been actually quietly serviceable. He's one of those pitchers where you're like, wait a minute, I don't remember Jonathan Hernandez. And all of a sudden, 10 2/3 innings, a 5.91 ERA, not great, hasn't been amazing, but he's filled a role with some guys missing some time. So both of those guys will not factor into the long-term goals of the Dodgers bullpen.
I like it.
Number 3.
I like it on DMAC and Ryder. All right, these are the professional, conditional guys that you trust conditionally.
Oh, yeah, you like my tiers?
I really do like the tiers.
So my tier 3 is my professional. These are like your guys you're like, okay, like these are people that you can trust. They have potential. Like there's worlds where these guys have prominent roles for the Dodgers.
Can I push back, or at least Jack Dreyer feels like I don't know, man. It's been a rough go.
So part of the reason why we're doing this trust tree, which, like I said, is kind of more like a trust twig, if we're being completely honest, especially since May 25th when the Dodgers had that 38-inning streak where they didn't give up a run. Since then, the Dodgers bullpen, they've been the 21st best bullpen in Major League Baseball.
Wow, that's terrible.
They have an ERA over 6. They have not been good. And as you mentioned, Jack Dreyer, he's been one of the relievers that was good at the beginning that has started to struggle. And the Maytag, this is his nickname, the Maytag.
I got it.
I don't like it. Do you?
You don't?
He doesn't like it either.
I mean, you know what it is? It's just basic. Like, because your last name's Dreyer, it's Maytag. Like, what are we doing here?
I know.
Made in Iowa, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Also, Maytag blue cheese, made in Iowa.
Yeah. No. So
I love blue cheese.
The Samsung.
If we did a cheese trust tree, be tier 1 for me.
The Whirlpool, the LG, those are other companies that make dryers, apparently.
So like, well, why did Maytag get the branding?
I know, right? Did they pay exclusive rights?
Did Jack Dreyer get a cut of Maytag profits?
Did they do a buy? Maybe? Who knows? I
don't know.
Industry jargon.
In fairness, lately, if you're Maytag, you don't want that. Like, no, our machines actually dry the clothes.
Yeah, exactly, right? And he's been hung out to dry, right, when you think about it. But Jack Dreyer, as you point out, he's
gotten jacked.
He did lift a lot
Jack
in the offseason.
Jack Dreyer from Iowa, I'm being told. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay, then I apologize. You can be called Maytag because it's an Iowa company.
Oh, so there we go.
Yeah.
There's the connection there. Yeah, Jack Dreyer's actually, his dad.
He doesn't like it? Does he hate his home state?
No, he doesn't.
I'm from Iowa. I embrace it.
Okay, well, maybe he's more into it, but
Jack, if you're listening on 97.1 The Fan, if you're driving home from the Dodgers game and you can't tell whose voice is who, Bill Ryder said nice things and D-Mac said mean things.
I love Jack Dreyer. You can actually do a Rubik's Cube in less than like 1 second.
That's a great shout, Bill.
Yeah, it's a great shout, Bill, absolutely. But since May 25th, Jack Dreyer posting a 9 ERA, The strikeouts have been down. He just hasn't been the same pitcher. The home runs have been up. So he's another guy that still looks like he has potential. He has this quality. It's called induced vertical break, and he's one of the best in baseball for having that. And what that is the way that the pitch can break late, which kind of induces soft contact. But he has struggled of late. And like we talked about for a lot of these young guys, you can have early success. Can you sustain it? And can you adjust when the league adjusts to you? I think the league has adjusted to him, and he needs to step it up.
Can I ask you, like, likelihood they go up or down? If we were to do this again, the DMAC in-season Dodgers bullpen trust tree on DMAC and Ryder 97 on the Fan, and we did it again, let's say, on August 15th, what's the likelihood Jack Dreyer is in the same tier, has gone up or down?
I'm not the biggest Jack Dreyer guy this year. Okay. I'm really not. I just think that you want swing and miss stuff. He's not a high-velocity guy. I think it still helped this team. I'm going to talk about it in a couple seconds here about a potential left-handed pitcher they can go get. Yep. If they don't go and get a lefty, I think there's a chance that his role continues to increase, and we'll see how healthy the bullpen can be. Kyle Hurt's an interesting one just because internally they feel like he has big stuff, and they always want to take the best 14 pitchers. That includes Shohei Ohtani for the postseason. His stuff really plays in the postseason, and what Andrew Friedman has said when it comes to building a postseason bullpen is you want to have guys that give you different looks, right? You don't want to have all guys that throw 100 miles per hour. You don't want to have all guys that throw sliders or cutters. And for Kyle Hurt, he throws a changeup. And to have a changeup in your bullpen long term, that's something that they value with him. He has struggled of late, too. He's another young pitcher that saw some early success. He was lights out for a while. And then his ERA is actually higher than Jack Dreyer's since the 25th of May. 9.72 ERA. He's another guy that struggled. The one to circle in this group, this is Tier 3 of the DMAC and Ryder Trust Tree, the first edition of this season, is Blake Trinan. Can Trinan get higher on the Trust Tree because he's a guy that's made big outs and has executed massive pitches in World Series runs, but unfortunately, he's just not that guy anymore. 4.76 ERA since May 21st. A 5 2/3 innings workload from that sense, and I just don't know if he's ever going to regain it. I'm not big on Blake Trinan. I think that time could have passed. The sweeper, it's still really good.
But he's helped in the past, and you told me yesterday that Mookie helped in the past, therefore the future is guaranteed. Not rules different in the trust tree. I thought we were in the trust tree with the branches.
So that's the thing.
That's a movie line.
I felt that. That was good.
Thank you.
And it was always good. It's always great. It's amazing. But with Blake...
I felt that.
With Blake Trinan, look, there is a past that helps his future, I think. And I just think from a pure stuff standpoint,
you don't see it. You just don't see it anymore. You don't trust it anymore.
I don't trust it as much. I still think that they are going to trust him if he starts missing bats again. He induces soft contact. His sweeper, his two-seam fastball, it is very nasty. Lots of movement there. And then Edgardo Henriquez is a guy that I think could absolutely move up because he has big stuff, can throw triple-digit heat. But that's the Tier 3. And those are quality names. But they're Tier 3 right now. They're on the professional conditional trust. And the condition for Blake Trinan would be, can you look like 2024 Blake Trinan? Can you also stay healthy? And that's something that I have my doubts about, if we're being completely honest.
All right, so are we moving on to number
2?
Proven trust, strong trust, DMAC, Doug McCain believes in these 3 names.
So there might be a controversial one on this, or maybe even 2. So this is Tier 2. This is not, hey, I trust you with my life. I trust you with my Netflix password. I trust you with the PIN number on my banking. I trust you with all that stuff. Yeah, this that you know. Darn, I got to change. I'm going to change it right now. But this is the tier where these guys absolutely have Tier 1 talent, but we need to see it with the Dodgers on the biggest stage, in the biggest moments, in the postseason. And Tanner Scott last year was bad in the regular season and then did not have a moment in the postseason because he required a medical procedure to treat a lower body abscess on his backside. It was on his buttocks. And
I was with you.
What?
I was there.
Okay, yeah. On his arse, okay? Yes.
I was with you the second time.
Okay. So he did not pitch for the Dodgers in the postseason.
On the thing he sits down on.
Yes.
Just so we can clarify what's going on.
On his tush.
On his shoulder?
On his tush.
Okay.
Yeah. On his cheeks. And the thing is,
on his cheeks?
He was cheeks in the regular season last year,
That's
too.
cheeky.
It was, right? but he had a blown save against the Phillies this year. Outside of that, it's been really good. 9 saves, a 2.26 ERA. All the advanced stuff looks really good as far as missing bats, the strikeout stuff. He's still limiting walks. But until we see Tanner Scott in the postseason, in the World Series, moments like that get it done, I still think he has to prove it, even though he's been one of the very best relievers in baseball for the last couple of seasons. He needs to get it done on the big stage. And then another one, too.
I'm a little surprised that this next name, Edwin Diaz, is not in your inner circle, Blind Trust.
So that's the thing. A little controversial here.
Surprised. It is controversial.
Edwin Diaz has been one of the very best relievers in baseball for the last decade.
Period.
Absolutely incredible. His nickname is Sugar. He is not sweet on the mound, though, when it comes to his stuff. Absolutely dominating. Has the velo.
I was just enjoying the juxtaposition. I mean,
No, I don't
know.
So Tanner Scott had an
Sugar's
abscess
his nickname,
on his
but
buttocks.
salt's his stuff.
So
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
absolutely right. But all serious though. But when it comes to Edwin Diaz though, a 10.5 ERA, 7 games, does have 1 blown saved, did have that nano needle, the Scooble scope. He is still coming back. He's continued to throw. Dave Roberts says he looks really good. Feels like a rehab assignment is going to be sooner than later. We just need to see what he looks like because he's had a couple of down years. He has had a couple of down years, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him because he also signed a big deal like Tanner Scott, $69 million contract. I still feel like he can be a guy where if we get the best version of Edwin Diaz, he can be a guy that you can trust in the World Series, but he hasn't done that yet either. He hasn't done it with the Dodgers. It's not like we're looking at him as one of those made men that we've seen go through those battles.
I mean, even 80% of his best level is a huge weapon for a bullpen that, as you noted, is atrocious, fair, borderline, really good today, but largely brutal since that scoreless inning streak.
I think that's a appropriate way to describe it. I mean, there's no way to describe it any other way. They have been bad. They really have not been great. The concern I do have with Edwin Diaz, and was this the loose bodies? Was that the issue there? But the velocity was down. Did not look like that dominant Edwin Diaz. And if they do get him back soon enough, we're going to have a good understanding and time to assess what he looks like. But he is a guy that, he has had some years, a couple years ago, big-time ERA after he went over to the Mets from the Mariners, where he's had he's only had a couple of bad seasons, and that's honestly pretty good for a closer.
Yeah, it happens.
But he ain't earned my trust. I got to see it, man.
D-Mac and Ryder 97-1, the fan. What about Evan Phillips?
So Evan Phillips is going to be interesting because he's coming back off of surgery. They are not going to rush things for Evan Phillips. He's looked really good when I've seen him throw a couple of different times. I've talked to him a lot this offseason about him just wanting to be a part of the World Series because unfortunately for Evan Phillips, he has got that opportunity for both of these runs, dealt with injuries both years. They are hoping after the All-Star break to get him back. And here's the thing about Evan Phillips, man. He was one of the very best relievers in baseball 2 years ago. Dr. Filth, Honey Bun, Fireman Phillips. He was dominant. He's also the biggest unknown right now. He's the biggest unknown. We don't know what version they're going to get of Evan Phillips. If he looks, you said 80% of Edwin Diaz, right? Same thing applies to Evan Phillips. If he looks like 80% of the Evan Phillips that we saw a couple years ago, really is going to help this team. It kind of feels like found money. Like he's that found $120 bill on the couch or whatever. Like he's kind of found money because the Dodgers, I don't think, are basing their entire postseason bullpen on Evan Phillips. But if he's good, he looks like he did a couple years ago, they're definitely going to have a role for him.
All right, this is the big one. This is the
Number 1.
D-Mac's highest level in the trust tree. You're in the comfortable branches. There's a beautiful bird's nest that's made of feathers. I mean, this is the spot to be.
I would not only trust them with the keys to my house, with my passwords, I would trust them with my reputation. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting them in tier 1, my inner circle, my blind trust, right? Alex Vesia, you saw today what he did. Bases loaded, might have struggled throughout that appearance, gets the job done. And the number one reason why I have Alex Vesia in that list is a 1.86 ERA in 26 postseason appearances. And then Will Klein, I think, might be a little controversial just because not a lot of experience, but 5 scoreless innings in 2 relief appearances in the World Series. We saw what he did in Game 3. So those are my 2 guys right now. And this whole exercise the point of this all was to point out the fact that only Alex Vesey and Will Klein are in my trust tree in the tier 1.
That is not many guys, dude.
That's not many guys, and it's also not many guys that the Dodgers have invested a lot of resources and money. Now, Tanner Scott, Edwin Diaz, they have tier 1 talent, but if I'm the Dodgers, there's this debate. We talked about it. I'm sure we'll get into this more in the coming weeks. Hey, should they go get a starting pitcher? Should they go get a reliever? I think you got to be fluid, and if there's a perfect world to get multiples, I think you get both. If I'm the Dodgers, I'm looking at Aroldis Chapman.
Okay. I love it. Like we're doing possible additions.
Oh yeah, possible.
This is the other category.
This is, yes.
This is another tier.
Yes.
This is, you're not in the trust tree, but in the trust tree, way up at the top, in the inner circle is DMAC, and he's looking at other trees. Like, hey man, I might bring you over to this tree.
Oh yeah, this is me.
You want to change trees?
Yeah.
You want to get out of that bush that's called AAA and come into the tree?
This is me down the ladder looking up at the tree house. Want to come hang out with the cool kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman.
Aroldis Chapman. I think he's the guy. He's been dominant with the Red Sox. The Red Sox are probably going to sell again, and he does have a pretty favorable contract. He's probably just going to be under team control for 2026. He does have a vesting mutual option for 2027. The Dodgers did complete a deal for Aroldis Chapman years ago. He got into some legal issues.
I remember that.
There's been some time that's passed.
Okay.
And I think that if that's an obstacle, who's to say? But he has made it back. He's played and pitched for multiple teams since then. But I just don't feel that confident about the lefties in the Dodgers bullpen. And yes, when the postseason rolls around, guys are going to be a part of the bullpen that aren't now. Guys like Roki Sasaki, Justin Robleski. Who knows? If you go and get Tarek Skubal and you keep Tyler Glasnow, maybe he is in the bullpen.
So you were looking in the tree house in the fort, and you were looking for Aroldis Chapman. You also were just looking in the Dodgers starting rotation at a guy that I have never disparaged and I never doubted. Okay, yes I did, but he's been great, Mr. Eric Lauer, maybe.
So Eric Lauer is impressing to the point where you say, wait a second, could we use him long term in that kind of role? It's
he really
a possibility.
Has. No,
he really has looked good. Yeah.
Innings eater? I mean, would that be what would the role be?
It'd be an innings eater, a mop-up guy. I mean, look, they're just, the thing is, if you're going into the postseason, Evan and Eric Lauer is in your bullpen,
because he struggles early. He tends to struggle early.
And he gives up home runs.
And
home runs can be the difference in a postseason series. But I'm telling you, Aroldis Chapman makes a ton of sense for the Dodgers. I know it's controversial, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people do not want to see Aroldis Chapman in L.A.
I wouldn't want him here.
You wouldn't.
It's your segment. It's your trust tree. It's not my trust tree. I would not want him anywhere near.
It's your show, though.
It's our show.
Yeah,
but you yelled at me earlier.
Just saying,
Do we
man.
have a clip of that yet?
I'm just saying.
We're efforting.
What'd you say? And then there's also another secret weapon.
Can we play him real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
River Ryan, a guy that's a big talent. A lot of people in the chat and in general Dodgers fans have asked for, and we had him on the show earlier this week because you booked him, because you know him, because you're the Dodgers guy and you're crushing it, and we love that here on 97.1 The Fan to bring you these kind of voices. And River Ryan, he didn't say that he's basically wants to be in the trust tree with Doug, but he basically did.
There's a lot of mock trades, and it's really easy to get caught up in, what the media is saying and what other people are saying about where I may end up, but I definitely want to, be in the starting rotation for the Los Angeles Dodgers and pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and in any role that they see fit, and contribute to winning another championship. That's really just my focus. I mean, the chips are going to fall where they fall. If I end up with another team, I end up with another team. But like I said, I want to pitch for the Dodgers and help them win another championship.
And maybe the bullpen's a way to do that.
It is, absolutely is, and he's got big stuff, and his stuff would absolutely, I think, multiply. Imagine if you are going 6 or 7 innings and you're throwing 100. What does that look like when you condense that down to one inning and go and get 3 outs, right? I mean, what would that look like?
All right, so for a guy like River Ryan, who doesn't have a lot of Major League experience, who is a little bit older for a prospect, who's incredibly highly regarded, what do you, Doug McCain, need him to do, if anything, at the Major League level in order to feel like, okay, you've had enough experience up here. We've sharpened, the Major League Baseball whetstone has sharpened this weapon enough that I'm comfortable having you pitch in October.
See, that's the tricky thing, because if he does get his opportunity, they've already built him up to be a starter.
Right.
He threw 94 pitches in his last start, so to plug him into a different role right out of the gates, then you would put him in a situation where if you did need him as a starter down the line, you would have to build him back up. So that's where it gets complicated. That's where at some point you're like, wow, there is a lot of depth on this team. So it's tough. But I think for him, what you would want to see is just the stuff, the way it plays up. I mean, I think you look at a guy like Emmett Sheehan, for example.
You got to have him in the majors for a minute, right? I mean, you can't just throw him in. How much major league experience this year does River Ryan need, whether it's starting or otherwise, to feel comfortable that he can come into a game in the 7th inning of Game 4 of an NLCS in the 8th and just be like, we need you to get a couple outs?
There's no, I mean, like, there's other ways to look at it, too. I mean, look at Roki Sasaki, right? Roki Sasaki came up late last year after all the injuries, and they threw him in the bullpen, and he was really good. Yep. And I think part of the reason why he was really good was there was a lack of familiarity from other teams. They never faced him. There was no great scouting on him. So I think there is a way where you can kind of secret weapon River Ryan if you view him as a potential bullpen piece. I think it's unfair. I think it's borderline a kind of a slap in the face to River Ryan at some point if you don't give him his opportunity to start a game, which I'm sure they will at some point. You heard the tone. You asked the questions. He looked like he was itching and desperate to get up to the major league level.
And he wants to be a Dodger.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that would he accept another opportunity? Sure, yeah. He said he wants to be a major leaguer, and he wants to be a Dodger. He wants to be a major league baseball player for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He does, and that's important to these guys. That's the same thing that Ryan Ward was saying, right? A lot of these guys, they've developed so much in this system, they want to experience that one more time. But this is a great problem to have. These are champagne problems. There is depth here. River Ryan is a potential option for this team. Big stuff. I could see it. I kind of want to see it later.
Is there anybody? I know we got to roll and do some soccer talk, but like anybody else you want to throw in the possible additions before we rock and roll to something else?
Brock Stewart is someone, if he comes back healthy, was great against right-handed bats. If he stays healthy, he's been good when healthy. Unfortunately, he basically can have his mail sent to the injured list because he lives there, right? I mean, that's the only problem with him, but there's a world where he could help this team.